Hello, everyone, and good day to all of us. Um, I can see that we have some persons who are joining right now, and some of us were here even before time. I just want to say thank you for being on time. I'm very sure that we have a couple of persons who are yet to get on board, and we must move regardless. So first of all, I want to confirm something, and what I want to confirm is this. Can you hear me? I would like you to drop a yes in the chat session if you can hear me, if it's loud and clear. If you can hear me, I just want you to say something in the chat session. Let me know that we can hear each other. So you just drop a yes, okay. Vincent, yes, okay. Olusegun, yes, loud and clear. Kindly increase your volume from Tolu. Okay, how about now? Tolu, how about now? Let me know if it's better now. If you can hear me better now, I would love to know. We still have a couple of persons who are connecting, but I'm just trying to make sure those who have connected can hear me loud and clear. So let me know. Thank you very much. Let me know, Tolu, if you can hear me still. I want to know if you have difficulties still hearing me. I want to know if it's all good now on your end. So we have a couple of persons who are still connecting. Oh, thank you very much for confirming. Thank you. A couple of persons are still coming on board. So this is not going to be a long one, I assure you. And I just want to make sure we have very clear objectives on what we are trying to achieve. So um, hold on a second. Let me just go ahead and I'm just going to have to share my task. Right? If you just go there and drop it, I will come back to it. At any time, just drop it here. Please. And at the end of things, things are
All right, good evening, everyone. I think there's a little glitch from his end, so let's just wait a few minutes for him to fix that and we'll kick off. So once again, I welcome us all for this session. We'll be looking at introduction to cybersecurity and how you can apply the knowledge of cybersecurity in your day-to-day activity, either you're a business person, either you are a career person, or whoever you are or whatever you do. You will gain something valuable tonight that you can apply immediately to improve your safety online or the safety of your organization. So that's the goal of tonight's session. And as the session goes, if you have questions, you can always drop them in the comments. The instructor will attend to your questions. So you can just drop them in the chat. So when the time for question comes, he's going to pick it up and he will address them.
Thank you very much, Mr. Wale. Thank you, everyone. So my name is Nathan, and I'm the instructor for cybersecurity. And what we have right here is called Paint. Paint is actually one of the tools or software that all of us have on our we all have this on our Windows computers, right? We have this particular feature, which is Paint. But I use Paint a lot for a lot of things. I use Paint to illustrate. I love to illustrate on Paint because it's easier to illustrate ideas and everything else. So just so you know that I will come here to do one or two things, and so you're not lost. Secondly, we are going to look at the slide. I don't know if this was shared before now, but this is going to guide us so that we don't go off track. By off track, I mean, I don't want to take us too deep into what we shouldn't be doing today. At the same time, I want to make sure we clarify a lot of things that should be clarified. So cybersecurity is a skill set. Cybersecurity is a skill set that basically entails protecting data. So the first thing we are trying to do is to protect data. That's pretty much the first thing. So we are trying to protect data, and data is very important because if anyone has your data, they pretty much have everything about you. So for example, imagine we have a platform like TikTok, and I like to be very, very realistic with my examples and scenarios. A couple of days ago, we for those of us who follow TikTok trends a lot, there's this guy called Pella that posted the video and everything else. So there is someone called Pella on TikTok, and Pella has data, and his data is available on TikTok. Such the data could include things like his name, his location, age, his by location I mean where he is as of right now. If he's streaming right now, his location is also being monitored. So his location, his age, if he had to impute any other data to be verified, all of that. So that is data. And now this data belongs to TikTok. A couple of months ago, TikTok had this there was this court session they had in the United States where they were trying to find out exactly what TikTok is doing with the data of American citizens. So they were saying that, okay, the TikTok has a parent company that is actually Chinese. So the concern was, is TikTok actually selling their data, or what exactly is TikTok using the data to do? And of course, they have the representative who came to defend pretty much what they do with the data and everything. And I didn't the end of it, but I'm sure there was a very, very I'm very sure that it turned out well, because at the end of the day, TikTok is still being used widely in the United States. But why did the United States government, why did the Senate or Parliament or whatever, why did they have to call for that meeting? It's because they understand that data is very important. They understand and they value data a lot. So cybersecurity is that skill set that is very much concerned with protecting data. Now, we also protect individuals, but protecting individuals is like what I say, subsection of protecting data, because who does not have your data does not know who you are to an extent. So, for example, imagine I want to track one of you here. I would need to know specific things about yourself, such as your name, uh, your email address, your phone number. All of this is data. And all of us are signed out. We are signed on different platforms. We use social media a lot. We use a lot of applications, and they have our data, like it or not. Matter of fact, I had a client in the United States who said that there are platforms that sell your data. Like they basically have your data and they sell them. A very good example is what we call advertising. And I'm going to go to our slide in a moment. I'm just trying to lay a background. Yeah, I'm going to lay some kind of a foundation, if for lack of a better word, I think foundation. So let's say, for example, you are scrolling through a website and you see something you like, you see a product you like, and for some reason that product seems to be following you everywhere, right? So anywhere you open, you see that product there. It's not normal. You see, well, now we take it as normalcy, but it is not normal. It means that someone showed you something that they now had to believe that you were interested in, and because you were interested in it, the algorithm now has to follow you through till you make purchase and even beyond. That is your data. So you are being tracked, whether you like it or not. So cybersecurity is all about understanding how all of these things work, protecting data, protecting individuals by protecting data as well. So I'm just going to leave this on the side here. I'll come back to it in a moment. Another foundation I would like to establish is why do you have to learn it? You see, most people feel like or think that cybersecurity is a course that you pretty much have to be very technical to understand, to comprehend. It is not so. It is not so. It is not so at all. There are many branches of cybersecurity. It is not just one path. There are many branches in cybersecurity. What that means is that, for example, if you decide now that you want to go into cybersecurity, for example, I will still go ahead to tell you that when you're done with the course, you must still choose a path. A path is, what do you want to do afterwards? There are several roles that come up from the cybersecurity course, several job roles you can fulfill. There is a curriculum that was shared. I don't know if that curriculum was shared to some of us, but it's supposed to detail the job roles that you can handle after specific sections of that curriculum. We have a lot of them. For example, there is the penetration tester. We also have risk management. We also have SOC analysts. Sorry, one moment. I need to confirm that everyone can hear me. Please go ahead and drop a comment in the chat session if you can hear me, please. I need to make sure that we are all hearing. Just drop. I need to hear from one person or two. Okay, hear me, you can hear. Okay, thank you for confirming. I just wanted to be sure. I can hear. Nora, you can hear. Yes, you can hear. Okay, thanks. We have SOC analysts and we have several others. See, it pretty much depends on the path you want to follow, but that's what most people don't understand. Cybersecurity is not like a it's not it's not one way, right? You're not just going on one path. Thank you to everyone that confirmed that they can hear. So there are different branches that it spreads out to. But all of these branches require a certain foundation. Now, that particular foundation is what we cover in Tech 365. The first thing we cover is networking. And networking basically deals with you understanding how devices connect and communicate with each other. That's the first thing. Because regardless of the branch, there are certain branches that involve managerial roles, because some persons they don't want to do anything technical. Some persons don't want anything that has to do with the terminal. They just want to pretty much focus on the theoretical part of it and the managerial part of it. It's also there. It's available. Do you understand? But there is a foundation that has to be laid. It starts with networking plus, where we are understanding how devices communicate with each other. And for this particular part, we are making use of a simulator in the class during the training. We are going to connect devices and see how they respond to each other. It is also in this networking plus that we are going to understand IP addresses. We are going to understand the versions of IP addresses. We are going to understand the classes of IP addresses. We're going to understand the types. We're going to understand what happens when you're trying to access a URL on your browser. What happens in between? All of these things are detailed in the networking plus class. Anything that has to do with connection, we do there. Because the easiest way for me to hack you is to first get into your network as an organization. If I want to penetrate an organization as a penetration tester, the first thing I want to do is try to get into your network. How I get there is not your business, but I will get there regardless. I may get to your network by, let me say, for example, there's a staff in your team, and this staff happens to like, let's say, BB Nigeria, for example. So if I go ahead and create a website, and then I have, let's say, I upload a payload. A payload is like a malicious file. So I have a mal file. Let me put it here. So I have it there. Then I create a link for your staff, not for your staff, and then I send an email. And your staff loves BB Nigeria, and this is social engineering because I know your staff loves BB Nigeria. So let's say, for example, she or he clicks on the link, gets redirected to the website, file downloads, system is hacked, but network is compromised. And once the network is compromised, that means that any other device connected to that network, any other device belonging to any other person, as long as this particular compromised system is connected to that network, all of them are gone. All of them, I can get access to them. The essence of the networking class is for you to understand how important networks are, how important it is to keep your network safe. This is foundational for any path in cybersecurity. This is foundational, very, very important. Matter of fact, I'm going to highlight it here and say foundational. Foundational. And after the networking class, the next one that we're going to look at is the security plus class. Now, in the security plus class, we are talking about any and every terminology. I'm going to black this guy out. We're talking about any and every terminology or term that relates to security. Everything from phishing to malware to attack vectors, etc. We are looking at everything. Like I'm talking about even things like we could even look at things like Bluetooth snapping. It pretty much depends on what is relevant as at the time of learning. But we are looking at all terminologies that relate to cyber security, defining them. Because for any of these branches you choose, you must have an understanding of every terminology that relates to cybersecurity to an extent. Even if you won't know all of them, I can't say you will know all of them. I can't say you should go ahead and memorize. But what I'm saying is that there is nothing you will hear that should sound unfamiliar at the end of the S Plus series. There is nothing you will hear that will sound unfamiliar. And then we have the penetration testing module that we use to wrap up this. Now, you may say, for example, why are we not doing risk management or SOC analyst, and why are we going for pen testing? Because pen testing is where we have the main practical session of everything else, including the security plus terminologies, rather. This is where we have the main practical session. This is where we go ahead and use industry standard tools to try to hack networks, websites, web servers, everything, social media, whatever it is, name it. It's under the penetration testing model. The risk management that you see here is a branch of cybersecurity that you can choose to measure on. And every branch has its relevant certificates. Even if you want to go to risk management is also a terminology that we are going to discuss in the S Plus series because it is a terminology used in cybersecurity. Likewise, the SOC analyst. Do you see? Penetration testing is where we are going to go deep into the thing practically with our operating system here, which is Parrot operating system is what we're going to be using. You're going to install it as at that particular time, and then we're going to go ahead and use it for that particular course. So it is networking plus first, and then security plus, and then we're going for CH, which is also the same thing as penetration testing. This is the ethical hacking phase right here. Just to wrap this up, or just to have a firm conclusion on this, we said that the essence of learning cybersecurity is to protect data. And when you protect data, you protect individuals. And then we said there are several branches that you can choose to go afterwards, after the training. But then we said your training is in 3 phases. We have networking plus, we have security plus, and then we have certified ethical hacking, which is penetration testing. And for any phase, I can share about 7 different paths that you can choose to go with. But at the end of each path, please, you need to understand that at the beginning, rather, of each path, there are several certifications that you have to go for to meet the industry standard. But what we have here is that foundation that you need to stand upon to make every other path easy to achieve. At this point, I would like to say, if you have any questions, please use the chat session. For those of us that may have missed it, use the chat session if you have any questions. Now I'm going to go to the slide. So welcome to cybersecurity. This covers this. Please bear with me. Bear with me. I may be very fast with this reading. Cover the basics of cybersecurity, essential components, and real-world threats, practical tips to protect yourself and devices online. So all of that is just theoretical. We'll be joined by the webinar. Will cover all of this is theoretical. Real-world examples. We'll look at some of that. What is cybersecurity? The practice of protecting systems, networks, and data from what? Unauthorized access, use, disclosure, disruption, modification, or destruction. Protecting systems, networks, and data from unauthorized use, access, disclosure, destruction, modification, or destruction. So basically, your job as a cybersecurity expert is to protect data, networks, or systems. Now, the reason why it's important is because we have growing threats. Every day, there's always something new that is trying to invade our privacy. There's always something new. There's always some kind of new attack. There's always some kind of new threat. And you just have to be able to provide solution or provide protection. We have some common cybersecurity threats, and they include malware, viruses. I'm very sure 90% of us here must have heard of viruses before. But we also have worms and trojans. All of this we discuss in the Security Plus, module. Phishing. Phishing is when you perform fraudulent attempts to steal sensitive information such as login credentials by impersonating trusted entities through emails, messages, or websites. So these as well, we are going to cover. We're going to where we are going to cover. Ransomware is basically when all your data is encrypted and someone is demanding for payment. This is one attack that is used against organizations because organizations they just love their data. Really, you just have to know that they love their data. Data is very sensitive. Imagine it's all encrypted. Imagine it's all encrypted, and someone tells you that before you get it again, you have to pay $5,000. So we are going to look at that as well, how it's done, how to prevent against it. And then insider threats also posed by employees, contractors, or partners. We're going to talk about how to make sure people only get to see what they should see. That is authorized access to certain things, etc., etc. There is a very important terminology in cybersecurity called CIA, stands for confidentiality, integrity, and availability of what? Of data. Was he talking about data? So it has to be confidential. Meaning that, for example, imagine I'm sending you a WhatsApp message. If I send you a WhatsApp message, I want to be sure that it's you it's getting to and not just anyone else. Integrity. I want to be sure that if I send you, how are you, what you're saying is not, I hate you. Availability. I want to be sure that if I send it right now, you get it right now. If there's any reason why you're not getting it right now, availability is now compromised. There's an issue. Either I don't have network or data, or there is an issue somewhere. This is a very, very fundamental component of cybersecurity that we are going to discuss in the S Plus series. Now, cybersecurity in everyday life, so it's not just for tech experts. Like I said earlier, I said that one thing you need to understand is it is not technical. It is not as technical as we think it is. Everything is everything in cybersecurity is, especially when it comes to our system of learning, is step by step, is very progressive. Even if you don't have experience in the tech industry at all, you can learn. And at the end of the course, you will be proud to say that you are a cybersecurity expert. You can learn. Because it starts off as basic as it should be. Networking. You on your hotspot, you connect to your PC, this and all. How does it work? That is what we're starting out with. So we have some recommendations for everyday life, such as, making use of strong passwords, multi-factor authentication, the ability to recognize phishing, software updates, and etc. etc. All of these are just excerpts from the main class. I would like to say that what you see here is just about 2% of what we have in the Security Plus module, about 2% of it. So when we talk about career paths, we're talking about, okay, when you're done with the course, what next? Because I will tell you the truth. If you don't have an idea what next to do after you're done with cybersecurity, then why exactly are you taking the course in the first place? You need to have a path. Now, if you have questions about the path, or you don't know the path to take, for example, we can have that conversation and make sure you have a clear path you want to follow at the end of the course, because that is what matters. Because that is what determines the certificates you go for to be relevant, to have that industry, to have, would I say, that industry relevance you get. Because they would need you to be certified in certain certificates would need to call you out for certain job roles. One of my clients in Dubai at the time told me that even for penetration testing, there are about 3 levels that you need to attain to meet the industry standard for senior job roles, not for junior or entry level roles or internship roles, which is pretty much what you would start out with. There are certain certificates that you cannot go for just immediately after your training, because they are high level and there is a path. I have to say it as much as it should be said. There is a path. You can't skip it. Most people think you skip one and you jump. It's not like that. There's a path, because security is not a joke. No company would hire you if they feel like you didn't go through that path. But the good thing about it is once you choose the path, everything else becomes simple, because now you know exactly what certificates you need to go for. So we have the pen tester, we have the SOC analyst, we have the cybersecurity engineer, and all of these ones are parts, but I tell you, there are other parts as well that you may want to go for. We can have a list sent out to you of the parts, and then you go ahead and choose one, and we look at that. We consider it even through your learning phase. So here are some simple but yet effective tips to enhance your cybersecurity practice in everyday life. Verify senders, use strong passwords, enable MFAs, avoid public Wi-Fi. Why are they saying you should avoid public Wi-Fi? The reason is because this is a network right here. If an attacker is in the network, okay, I'm just going to, let's say, for example, this is a network, but this network is public. I'm just going to label it as red, and I'm going to say this is public, right? And let's say, for example, all of these guys here are individuals, and they're all connected to this particular network. And you, well-meaning as you are, you also connect, not knowing that there is because there's this particular guy somewhere who is also connected to this network, but this guy has malicious intentions. This guy can scan and see everybody here, including you. And then he can choose to do whatever he wants to do with your device, provided he gains access to your device. But he would not have a chance if you were not connected to this network. I just want to lay that out. And then we have the question and answer session. So at this point, because trust me, I know we have a lot of questions. At this point, what I want us to do is take it step by step. Start from the simplest question you have in your mind and write it down in the chat. Any concerns? Now, if there was anything you thought about cybersecurity, that you probably have concerns with, anything that probably I didn't touch, any question, anything you need clarification with, this is the time for you to tell me. Tell me that, okay, I'm concerned about this. Is it career path? Is it a terminology you don't understand? Whatever it is, this is the time for you to tell me, okay, you know what? I have a question in this regard and I need clarification. So I'm going to say to chat, you should drop it in the chat. The reason for that is because if I say use your audio, we may have difficulties hearing you in your background, could be noisy. So I'm just going to say, let's use the chat session for this. If you have any questions, go ahead and drop it in the chat session. Like I said, I don't want to take too much time than necessary, but I want to answer all the questions that you have. So I have a question from Tolu. You said, how can I start the training on cybersecurity? So is it possible to have more than one path? Okay, I see your question. Just keep them coming, keep them coming. So how can I start the training on cybersecurity? Tech 365 offers the cybersecurity training. Full course is being offered right now. So maybe after the class, you go ahead and go to tech365.ng or .com rather, and then you should be able to see the link to register for the cybersecurity class officially. So one thing I can do is, matter of fact, I will just go ahead and have can just have it dropped in the comment section here if you want to go ahead and see what it looks like right now. 1 second. Please ask your questions, please. Have them come, please. Thank you. So, okay, I'm just going to go with the second question we have. Is it possible to have more than one path? Well, yeah, it is possible to have more than one path, but then the question is, how much experience do you have on one? So you can, for example, say you want to be a pen tester and you also want to be a SOC analyst, which is good and fine. But how much combined experience do you have? You need to have a combined experience for both parts for you to be able to prove to an employer that you are capable of handling the job role. Let me show you guys something. Let me show you guys something. I'm just going to say cyber security jobs USA Indeed. And I'm coming for the other questions. 1 second. I will just be with you in a second. Let me show you something. This one or this one? Let me see. Okay, fine. Fantastic. Okay, this is a job. These are jobs in the United States, right? So we have a SOC advisor, cyber defense. This is for Google, I believe. Microsoft needs a security researcher. We have a security analyst for application security remote. We have SOC analyst. We have escalation specialist, Spanish Global Security Organization. We have network security product owner remote. We have cybersecurity event analyst, security analyst remote, security analyst, discovery analyst, cybersecurity controls testing analyst, clinical engineer for cybersecurity analyst, cybersecurity analyst or cyber engineer. What I'm trying to show you here is this. For example, imagine you want to go for the analyst role, for example. That's the path you want to choose. Now let's look at the JD. Let's look at the job description for this. Let me see. Is there a job description for this guy? I don't see anything here. It's not detailed. Let's look at this one. Please keep your questions coming out. I will come for them in a moment. I just want to clarify something. This is taking forever. I'm going to open this one in a new tab. can just keep the questions coming, please. I'll be with you in a moment. So look at this job description. Evolus is a performance beauty company. It's a blah, blah, blah. They are seeking a cybersecurity analyst to join the security team. So there's a team. First thing you need to know, there is a team. Now, this role is critical for maintaining the security of our network. So they are concerned with the network security and their infrastructure. So look at what you need to do. Monitor alert management, respond to incidents. All of this we are touching in Security Plus. Manage vulnerabilities, train users, endpoint security, email and messaging security, risk management, data loss prevention, physical security, cryptography, and then security operations. So what I'm trying to say there is, for example, imagine you want to do pen testing and then go to SOC analyst. You need to have enough experience in pen testing to be able to do something like detecting these vulnerabilities. This one now is saying manage it, but to detect it, you see it, respond to detected vulnerabilities, pen testing, right? That is, someone had tested to detect the vulnerabilities. Your job is to now manage it as an analyst, a cybersecurity analyst. Do you see? So if you want to be able to do both of them, it's about the experience. How much time do you have to give to one? That is why I advise going for one path and measuring that path for a couple of years. So if you have more questions, please let me know. Is Cisco also part of cybersecurity? Cisco is a company that basically is, I would say, in my opinion, the number one company organization worldwide for networking operations. So this is Cisco here. So if I go ahead and say Cisco, they have products, right? They have products that they use for networking. They have networking tools. I'm trying to be precise with my search. So let me say Cisco tools. They also offer certain certificates as well. But I just want to be sure of the tools that they have. Matter of fact, even the simulator we are using for 1 second. So packet tracer. You can see the simulator we're using for our networking class is also from Cisco. So they built this simulator and we are going to use it for our networking class. What are we using it to do? We are going to use it to test connecting a phone to a laptop, connecting firewalls, connecting laptops to laptops. How do they interface with each other? For example, this is a router. If you click on this, what do you have? This is what the router looks like. We are not going to say go and buy router, go and buy this. This tool by Cisco is going to be used for the networking class. You have all the tools you need here. These are PCs, these are laptops, we have servers, we have printers, we have phones, we have TVs. So that's one of the major roles that Cisco plays. Let me go ahead and minimize this guy for a second. I'll go back here. How many months will the class be for? So we have our current curriculum that is supposed to kickstart for about 10 weeks. We have it for about 10 weeks. And how will you know the right path to choose? Well, I would say that there is no exact way to knowing the right path to choose, right? But it boils down to the conversations you're willing to have. What I mean by that is, I personally love to talk, right? I love to advise, especially in areas like this, because a lot of people tend to find it hard to choose a path, right? I love to advise. I need to first of all know what you like to do. I need to know what you're interested in doing. Do you understand? I understand you have a flair for cybersecurity, you love it, but I need to know what exactly do you want to do? Are you more of a sitting down person? Do you love to be on your toes? Can you handle pressure? Do you understand? There are certain questions I need to ask for me to now be able to say, okay, you know what? I have about 3 recommendations for you. Choose one. Is cybersecurity about writing code? No, it is not. It is not. The only part of cybersecurity that has a role, that has something to do with code, is if you want to go ahead to build your own tools that you want to use for cybersecurity. Do you understand that? If you want to build your own tools, then okay, say you want to write code, but do you really need to build tools? That's a big dollar question. Do you need to build tools? Because all the tools are there. All the tools are there. Let me show you something. One moment. if you go here, we have, look at all the tools you need have been built and they are all there. Unless there is something specific you want to do. And then, for example, you can say, okay, you know what? I want to learn to program after the class so I can build my tools. But all the tools you need are out there. Matter of fact, there are certain tools that you need that, for example, there is this tool we call Splunk. Splunk is one of the tools that is used in the United States. Let me show you something. Splunk is an American software, blah, blah, blah. I thought I would have more information there. It is basically used for analysis, right? It is used for analysis to detect issues on a network, to detect, to respond. So let's say, for example, you're working with a company, they will be the ones to go ahead and give you a Splunk, they give you access to Splunk, and then all you have to do is just go ahead and use Splunk. For example, this is just one of the tools. I'm just showing you something. Right? It's just on the side, nothing to concern yourself about. When I click a phishing mail, what am I expected to do immediately to avoid hackers having access to me? There is nothing you can do at this point, because the way attack works is you have to do something on your end to give them access, and you already did that. You clicked on the mail, right? So okay, wait, let me make sure I understand your concept here. Is it when you click on the mail or when you click on a link in the mail? Because sometimes you open the mail, it's just like an email, but the virus, the devil is in the details, right? It's usually, let me say, for example, there's a link or there's a file they want you to download, stuff like that. So the best thing to do is don't click on an email that you don't trust the sender, or you don't trust who it's coming from. You don't have to open it. You know, one thing that happens in Nigeria is most times we get SMS from certain numbers and they tell us something like download this and that. What I just do immediately is, from where I see it, I delete it, because I don't even want to open it in the first place. Because there's no exact way to know exactly how much access you are giving to them, even when you open the SMS. This is one of the issues we have, at least one of the things I've noticed very recently. How many of these sets does one need to get a well-paying job as a cybersecurity expert? Um, the first certification that you would go for, aside from all the certificates that Tech365 will give to you, you're going to go for the ISC2CC certificate. It's the certified in ISC2CC, certified in cybersecurity certification. This is the first one. Now, when you have this certificate, right, the job roles you can go for could be, and this one is very easy to get, right? It's you write the exam. There are physical exam centers to write it in Lagos. So you can go for junior cybersecurity roles, right? Those are kind of roles you can go for. If you want well-paying jobs, and I'm sure when you say well-paying jobs, Chukwuka, I know the kind of jobs you're referring to. You need to put in the work. You need to be ready to put in the work. I'm talking about learning, talking about training, I'm talking about getting certificates. You need to be able to put in the work to get there. So which part of cybersecurity is tax-based? I'm not exactly sure what you mean by tax-based, but pretty much come again, hear me with this question so that I can understand what you mean. So based on my personality, I want roles that get towards tax rather than meetings. So okay, I see. So you're saying, for example, you want to be on the system, you want to work. Yeah, you can go for pen testing or SOC analyst, because you're working almost all the time. It's either you're analyzing something or you're trying to break into something, right? So I think those two will be very satisfactory for you. If there are more, I would recommend doing training. Okay, so let me see. Is there any question I missed here? Any question I missed here? I don't think there is. Do we have more questions in the room? Do we have more questions? I want to see all of those concerns that you've had, all of those reasons why you did not register for a cybersecurity course before now. I want to have those reasons. Let me clarify. I need to clarify all of those doubts and all of those concerns. That's basically what I'm here for. That's the essence of this particular webinar. For training, is Mac or Windows preferred? I would say my personal recommendation is a Windows PC, and the reason for that is because I have, like I said, my personal recommendation. I love to use Windows because it's just easier for me to pretty much get some things installed compared to Mac. I'm not really a Mac OS person, but Mac is also something you can use. Mac is also very good. It depends on your budget as well. Because if you're going to use a Mac PC, I understand that Mac PCs are quite expensive, especially if you want something that works very well. Unlike Windows, where you can pretty much just load the Windows operating system on a PC that is well, what about 200, 250, 300, and it works just fine. For Mac, you may need to have something that's just, something that is really, really good. So I think it's gearing towards the budget side. So from that perspective, you would now decide which one to use. But I would recommend a Windows PC. I would recommend a Windows PC. Yeah. So thank you, Yemi, for that question. Very important question because most people are concerned about that, even though they don't say. Do we have any more questions, please? I want to see all of them questions that you usually have. All of the questions that you usually have. I'm going to stop sharing my screen right now, and I'm going to what I'm going to do right now is call on you guys one by one and just make sure everything is clear. I'm going to start with Chukuka. Forgive my tongue, please. Okay, I think you did ask a question, so I'm going to let you go on that one. Oluwanifemi, please, do you have a question? I want you to drop a question for me in the chat session. Somewhere, Borigi, please, do you have a question? Please drop it. Will there be a space for mentorship during and after the program? During, yes. After the program, yes. At Tech 365, we don't leave you alone after the class. We don't. We absolutely do not do that because you will always have questions. That is just the truth. You always have questions. You always need to come back with questions, and we're always there to answer those questions for you. Somewhere, Borigi, please go ahead and drop the question. If I don't pronounce your name correctly, forgive my tongue, please. It's just what it is. I'm so sorry about that. Wahab, please go ahead and drop your question. The reason why I had to say forgive my tongue is because it happens a lot. When I was there was a time that I was teaching Air Force base. I was teaching some of the personnels in the Air Force base, and some names were pretty hard to pronounce. So I noticed that it was tongue twisting. So yeah, I usually say that, please. I don't know how to pronounce names a lot. Thank you very much. Would you recommend getting a role as a help desk or IT analyst after the training? A help desk or IT analyst? IT analyst for sure. Help desk. I'm not very, very familiar with what your job description will be as a help desk, but if it's something that involves security, even if it's at the minimum, I'm talking about the minimum. I mean, as minimal as let me say, even CCTV, monitoring CCTV, that's a lot. That's a lot for your CV starting out. That's actually a lot because that's physical security, but you're also making use of a network right there because the CCTV cameras are still connected to a network. Yeah. So thank you very much for your question, Yemi. So Chi Oma, please, do you have any questions? And then Chioma, do you have any questions? I think I see Choice as well. Do you have any questions? Please go ahead and let me know. Gabriel, do you have any questions? Questions or concerns, please? Angie Feed, I think you've asked quite a number of questions. If you have more, please go ahead. Nora or Noah, please, do you have any questions? Don Sam, do you have any questions? Don Sam, please go ahead and shoot. Oluwaseun, do you have any questions? Joshua, yeah, Joshua, do you have any questions? Yemi or Dukoya? Okay, you've been asking a couple of questions. If you have more, please ask me questions. Olusegun Bolujo, do you have any questions? Paul, do you have any questions? Solu, do you have any questions? David, do you have any questions? And Gracious, do you have any questions? So I think I pretty much mentioned everyone. Akinwole, I think you're just joining. I'm not sure if I saw you before now. Please, do you have any questions, any concerns, anything that has been bothering you? Because we're about to wrap it up now. 2 minutes max, and we should be done unless we have more questions to touch. But that's why I'm here, please. Do you have any questions? Okay, I think I see a question. When is the training starting? That would be I think that would be early January, but I'm very sure that you already start, so you will get feedback on the exact dates that we are supposed to kick off. And with time is be enough to cover the basics. The basics, yes. The advanced, yes. All you have to do is trust your instructor, and I will take you on this journey. It's not a problem at all. Is cybersecurity about writing code? I think someone did ask this question, Joshua. We don't have any business with programming. I clarify that. We do not code, we do not program. The only time we may need to code or program is if you want to build your own tools that you want to use for cybersecurity, which is not necessary. Do you understand? It is not necessary because all the tools you need, all the industry standard tools you need are available. Do you understand? They are all available. Do you get it? So thank you very much for those questions. What does on-site or job? Okay, on-site jobs are basically jobs that they want you to be on ground. They want you to be physically available. And then remote jobs are the ones you work from home. Do you understand? The ones you work from home. On-site jobs are the ones you do on ground. Like I'm more of a remote job person. All of my jobs, all the work I do is remote. Yeah, I'm not really an on-site person, but if you're starting out, you may need to start out as someone who has to be on premise, that is on site. That may be your path to starting out, unless you find a juicy offer that is going to offer you a remote opportunity. All right. So please, I want to give about which roles are primarily remote. There is no way to say which ones are primarily remote, Yemi. You know why? The reason for that is because it depends on the organization and their standards. There are some very, very recent companies that just want people, they don't want people to be in the office. They find it to be cost effective, etc., for both the staff and the organization, right? So it could be any role. There is no job role now you can't do remotely unless it involves you doing something on premise. Do you understand? I'm talking about cybersecurity. Everything you can do remotely, right? So that is just what it is. Um, because we have the cloud. Do you understand? We have the cloud, and most things now are done on the cloud. We are also going to cover an aspect of cloud security. Maybe I didn't mention that. So you should be able to know how to connect the cloud and all of those things. It's all in the curriculum, right? We're going to touch all of that. That is in S Plus series. Like I said, every terminology, any question you have, you bring it. We're going to digest everything. Thank you very much, Jeremy, for your question. There are some persons that have not asked questions, and I'm trying to say, okay, where is it? You need to ask a question because I'm very sure you've had questions. You need to ask a question here. You need to ask a question here. But I want us to wrap it up because it's almost an hour, and we need to we need to get back to our various activities. So I'm just going to give an extra 30 seconds to wrap it up, and then I would see if Mr. Walia, our host, and the CEO of Tech65 has anything to add to it. And if nothing, we just go ahead and call it an evening. And I look forward to seeing all of you in class and then taking you on this journey. So, yeah. So I'm just going to give us 1 minute for any questions. Go ahead and type it if you have any questions. Go ahead and put it in the chat session so I can respond to it. Sorry, I hear someone. Don Sam, is that you? Can you type your question, please? I think you were trying to say something, Don Sam, but can you type your question so that you know? So you need to type it. We see it, then I respond. Everyone understands the response, and then we'll move on from there. So I'm just going to give you 30 seconds to do that. So I'm just going to count 30, 29, 28, 27, 26. Okay, that could be a mistake. Okay. Thank you very much for clarifying. So thank you very much, guys. My name is Nathan, and I'm your instructor for this particular course. I look forward to seeing all of you. All of you take the class. Matter of fact, I think precisely Tech365 is running a promo. I think Tech365 is running a promo on the course, so I think this is the best time to buy it. Because 2025, you just need to start it differently, right? You need to start it differently. So that's all from me. Thank you very much for being here and being available. I look forward to having you guys on board when we kick off next year. Thank you very much. You know, if you want to register and everything, you can go ahead and start now. The earlier, the better. You know, it makes it easier for you to plan as well. So please, if you have any concerns, don't fail to reach out to Tech 365. We are going to cover your concerns. Thank you. Thank you very much for joining. And what is the promo about? Well, there is this a 50% slash on the price to learn. There's a 50% slash on the price to learn currently, right? And I think there's a duration for it as well. But you registered for this webinar, you should get a follow-up email concerning that or a follow-up message concerning that. And please, I would advise you to buy it because the promo is a recommendation to ensure that we have you learn this skill at a very affordable fee, right? Because you have to start 2025 differently. The country by itself is proving to be hard, but our slogan at Tech 365 is life is not hard. And life is not hard based on the decisions that you make. So thank you very much for that question, Angie Fadi. Thank you. So that's all from me, and I'll see you when we meet up for the next class. I'm going to end the call in about a minute, so we can go ahead and disconnect now. Thank you very much for joining. Catch you physically when we see. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. We can leave now. Thank you. Like, you can go. Yeah, like you can leave, guys. Like you can go.